Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a radical retelling of an American classic, and one of our next guests has poured his heart and soul into it. Here to share his take on the story of Huckleberry Finn, we welcome the author of Big Jim and the White Boy, award-winning writer and Portland resident David F. Walker. David, great to see you again.
It's great to see you. It's like a reunion.
Yeah,
it really
is.
is.
This is something else. This is incredible. Big Jim and the White Boy. I understand a publisher came to you with the idea of doing this, like a new take on Huckleberry Finn. And what made you decide to do it? Take it on.
I had actually started writing a retelling of the book like maybe 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was going nowhere. You know, you have those projects that are like, they're the great ideas, but you're either too lazy or too scared to tackle them.
Yeah.
And my publisher at 10 Speed Press said, you know, we're thinking about doing some retellings of classic literature. Would you be interested in doing Huckleberry Finn? And I was like, yes. Like, there was no hesitation.
Yeah.
Because I knew I wasn't going to actually do the book if I didn't have a reason to do it. And so it just kind of came together very quickly, although when I say very quickly, quickly is relative here.
So what was your take as you read it as a kid? Do you remember reading it as a kid and saying, what is wrong with this story?
Yes. You know, I enjoyed the book, and I've seen, I don't know, at least 3 different versions of the movie over the years. There's been tons of them. But I was always that kid that would ask questions. And, you know, the most obvious question was, why is Jim going south? If he's running away from slavery, there's 3 other directions to go. South is not the one you want to go to, right? And then as I got older, I really began to question the relationship between Jim and Huck and why there was so much loyalty. And then as I got even older, I was like, well, you know, why aren't they really tackling the issue of slavery? Why aren't they getting into, you know, the Civil War? And then as I was studying the Civil War, I realized, you know, the real conflicts began in Missouri and the Kansas territories with the border wars. And I was like, well, the book takes place mostly in Missouri. Why didn't Twain address that, right? And so from there, a lot of those questions that popped up over the years are what really began to inform the narrative that we put together. Yeah,
love it. I have to go back to your childhood. Your mom was a big supporter of, I'm assuming, of everything you do. I love this picture of you.
Oh,
really,
wow.
It looks like it was just yesterday. But this kid here, here, this kid was a big reader, wasn't he?
Huge reader, yes. You know, my mom recognized early that I would watch like cartoons and superhero stuff, and so my mom recognized that, and there was like an old animated Spider-Man cartoon from the 60s, and there was the live-action Batman show from the 60s, and I was so into those shows as a kid that as I was starting to learn how to read, my mom would buy me comic books, and it was all over after that. So while most kids were learning how to read with Dr. Seuss and things like that, I was learning how to read with Batman, Spider-Man, things like that.
The artist, Marcus Kwame Anderson, does such a great job depicting Big Jim and Huck. And really, it's an incredible story. How did you two first work on this? Because you really just met Marcus not that long ago. In person.
Well, I met him in person for the first time 2 weeks ago. We did a book earlier, the Black Panther Party, is a nonfiction graphic novel history of the Black Panther Party, and it went really well. And I just happened to discover him on Instagram. I would see his art, and I really liked it. And when we were looking for,
it's really good.
It's amazing, and there was a versatility there. And so when we were doing Black Panther Party, when we were looking for an artist, I told my editor, this is the guy. And it went great. We won a bunch of awards. And we were still wrapping up Black Panther Party as I was getting started on Huck Finn, or on Big Jim, I should say.
Remember the focus.
Yes. And my editor was like, who do you want? And I was like, I really think Marcus is the guy. And they were like, I don't know if his style will work. And I was like, no, there's a versatility to his style.
It's so
Trust
great.
me.
And
it's going to bring in especially younger readers, you know, teenagers. There's this almost cartoony look to it. But I knew he could pull it off. I knew he could pull off the action, and the emotion. You can see the emotion in the characters that he draws. They're really good. I know you guys just went to the Mark Twain House and Museum in Hartford, Connecticut, which is, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, and have not been there since 1980. So it was a homecoming.
I wanted to.
of sorts.
Yeah, there we go. There's Marcus.
There's Marcus. Yes, and he's debating with Mark Twain over what we've done to his classic novel.
I love it.
And I have to say, we were both so freaked out about going to the museum because we were like, what if like the Mark Twain people are waiting to jump us, right? Like, what if they hate this book so much and they're like, you know, we're just gonna be disappeared, black bags over our head, we're never seen again.
Yeah. Tell us how Big Jim is different than he was in the original.
I mean, he's as close to he's an action hero. He's a superhero. He has agency. And we were really about restoring his humanity. We give him a real concrete reason why he is on the run. He's trying to find his wife and children.
Right.
And it was just, you know, Marcus and I are close in age, and we both had read the book, and we would talk about, you know, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn would have been the greatest book of all time, if only.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
I love the way the future generations are also included.
Yes.
Their kids and grandkids.
And that was important to me too, because I think, you know, and we get into this in the book, that history is often lost, and personal history is even more lost. The trauma and grief in a family. We don't want to talk about the bad things that happen.
Right.
And I was like, let's address that. And so it was a long process, but it was a great process.
Yeah.
I mean, if Marcus is watching this, you know, online, Marcus, if you're watching this, and Jen, his wife, he's mine. I love him. That's it. You complete me, bro.
We want to tell everyone you've got a book event at Powell's, which is awesome. Your name will be on the marquee, David, at 7 o'clock tonight. Powell's 10th and West Burnside. We're going to put all information for you on our website at katu.com. Big Jim and the White Boy. David, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Great
we need
to
to do another hip hop class together.
All right.
There's a whole story
yes, there is.
There is.
I'm down.
Okay.
I will do it.
Sounds good.